Welcome back to OWLET. I am your caster, Hotohori, and today we have a great match for you today between Top Ramen and Naptime. So this is a very, very important match here in the Strix division. So we're going to be actually getting into the match here very shortly, but we're going to give you a little bit of a match preview here as both teams are getting ready here and to be set up. So today's map selection for this match starts off with Ilios, and then we will head into Junkertown, Temple of Anubis, and Numbani. And joining me today as my co-caster is Katrina. How are you doing today, Katrina?
I'm doing great. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited to cast with you tonight, Hoto, and I'm very excited for this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really great. So let's go through a little bit of the tale of the tape between the two teams here. So we are in the first week of Stage 2. So there are a couple new maps here. So when we take a look at the map selection, it looks like both Naptime and Top Ramen here have never played Ilios, Anubis, or Numbani. So all three maps are going to be very, very new to these teams. So we're going to get our first look at these maps here for Top Ramen and Naptime. But on Junkertown, it looks like Top Ramen is 1 and 2, and Naptime 0 and 4. So not looking good there on Junkertown. So Naptime here has got to make sure they get something out of Junkertown here, or Top Ramen is going to take it from them in Junkertown. As we go to the map types, Katrina, what do you see that sort of stands out to you with regards to the comparison of the two teams?
Definitely the most obvious thing in this tale of the tape is related back to King of the Hill. As you see, Top Ramen is 1 and 7 on control, whereas Naptime, this is their only map category where they have a positive record. So as we're about to go into Ilios, I believe that Naptime will likely have the edge.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right here. Top Ramen has had their struggles. Back to OWLET. I am your caster, Hotohori. Sorry, I am bleeding there. So so my stream was bleeding there into the stream. Very unprofessional of me. But as I was saying, it is Top Ramen playing from behind a lot of the times. Now that King of the Hill is going to be the first map in play, so I just need to let our referee. It is how do I say his name? PB you leave? PB at you leave? I don't know.
PB for you leave.
PB for
our referee.
Our ref is going to be starting the match here very slowly. But as I was saying, Top Ramen here has to get something out of Ilios because they do have a better record here on the rest of the maps. And if they can take something out of Ilios, they're going to have a good time here for the rest of the three maps here as they have the advantage. We're going to get started here as we are going right into Ilios now, and it will be, I think, Top Ramen in blue and Naptime in red. That's right. So we're going to be starting here on Ruins. So, Katrina, how do you feel about Ruins?
I think Ruins is a great map. When I do see this, though, as a tank main, I try to put away my Orisa for the maps that have a bit more environmental kills available. I think that this is the most brawly of the Ilios maps. And what I really do enjoy about this is seeing Widowmaker battles. I wonder if we'll see any of those great ones today. And it does seem that way, as Zoe and Brave Palm have both locked into their Widowmakers.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because Brave Palm and Zoe are excellent widows. So it'll be interesting to see who can open up and win their duel and open it up for either side of the team. So look for the first pick and the aggressiveness to come out here from either team. And it looks like Fenzito, with his injury, is going to be playing here for Top Ramen. He said that he had cut open his palm, and I didn't expect him here to play for Top Ramen. But he's a warrior, that guy. So he's going to be good to go. And on the other side, Surfy and Brave PLM are new pickups here for Naptime. So they were playing in the match on Friday. So it looks like they're going to be featuring a new roster here as they get started. And both teams are charging right into the point.
And it does seem very interesting that one team is running the Reinhardt Zarya, whereas the other is running a complete dive. And here they are approaching Ilios. So right now, Surfy is guarding that Ilios as Millsy tries to break down that shield. They are moving forward with the Zarya bubble on Surfy currently. Millsy is still teasing that point, and deep inside is teasing the back line as well. Right now, it seems as if Oh my goodness, and right now Cap is charging that Zarya up so much. However, Fenzito does take out the support, Mercy, McNaney, sir. However, Spark takes out the other Mercy, Vesper Seed. We will see which team has the edge right now, and it does look as if Tom Ramen, yes, they do take the first point.
Yeah.
What edge do you think that they had?
Yeah, I think what ended up there was that Fenzito was like wrapping around and trying to sort of flank from the back, which left sort of their front line a little bit open. So Naptime just sort of charged on in and tried to sort of pushed in onto the main section here that was defending up on the top side, and now it looks like Vesper Sea, Cap, and the rest of sort of have to fall back here because they're at the mercy here of Brave PLM's Widow, and they're just afraid of getting sort of shot as they re-engage onto the point here. But it looks like Surfy's not going to be moving, as he's just going to be sort of staying on the point here and trying to make Top Ramen sort of engage at them as Fenzito gets the first pick on Brave PLM.
And you do see Top Ramen being extremely successful as they take out both the Mercy and the Widowmaker right away. Surfy does get revenge by taking out Top Ramen's own Mercy. However, Fenzito takes out Cash Chunks. The tanks and supports are going back and right. This beautiful Transcendence coming in from Millsy does negate the Earth Shatter from Surfy, who is killed immediately. This looks like this is Top Ramen's point to take.
Yeah, and it's Top Ramen doing pretty good there. They were a little patient, and what they did is they waited for Fenzito to sort of jump on PLM, on the Widow there, and waited for him to take him out. So once that was done, they were able to sort of move in and sort of play the way they wanted to play. That was the issue there on the initial engage, was that Top Ramen was unable to sort of come into the point and sort of fight where they wanted to fight. Great PLM sort of kept him at bay, but by him dying, it's over. And now it looks like Zoe's in the backline just messing with the supports here, and it's forced out a Transcendence from PLM. Oh,
and here comes the self-destruct, and will it get anyone? It does get Spark and Brave Palm. Huge self-destruct from Cap. And right now, Catchlinks is at such high energy with Surfy following up with high damage. But Catchlinks and Surfy and the Mercy for Naptime are all down. Right now, excellent defense from Top Ramen. And what I've really enjoyed is watching these tanks coordinate as they attack the back line. And you saw in their initial take of this point how they were teasing those supports. They were getting that Widowmaker out of the way first. Great target prioritization from Top Ramen.
Yeah, Brave PLM had to go to the Hanzo there because he knew he was going to get dived on, because he just wasn't used to the mobility here. As Naptime here start their next engage, we're at 66-57 here, so it's not really that far off as they sort of engage onto the point. And it looks like a high noon coming out from Mr. Cred, who takes out McNaney, sir, to start this engage off really, really well here for Top Ramen.
And Cap taking out Catchlinks while they have the Graviton Surge is a huge kill. Right now, Cap is still going off, taking out Surfy with Fenzito following up on that Hanzo. So most of the damage and space-making ability of Naptime has been removed. Let's see how this final fight sets up.
Yeah, and it looks like here Naptime's here is not going to have an ability to sort of do anything they want. That Graviton only catches Mr. Crit there in the corner. They do get him, but Zoe gets two big kills as the Transcendence just popped on point. Let's see if they can do anything with it, but it doesn't look like it, as Vesper Seed sort of reses Mr. Crit back up as the Dragon sort of comes through. They need to win this fight, Naptime, but it doesn't look that way.
And right now, it just seems like it's the rest is a formality as Top Ramen takes the first objective.
Fantastic play there by Top Ramen. This does not look like a team that went 1-7 on King of the Hill maps. They looked very organized there, Katrina.
I was very impressed with the communication between the tanks. As a tank player myself, sometimes the most difficult thing is to coordinate a D.Va and a Winston on similar targets, but Top Ramen did a fantastic job at reacting and changing their way of play based on what Naptime was giving them. And let's see what changes come in for this map.
Yeah, you're looking at Surfy here on the Orisa now, so it's an interesting pick. So it's a little slower engage on the Orisa on this point, so they may be looking for environmental kills, which is something that we didn't see from like Hall when we played it in Stage 1. So you see Surfy here coming out, making sure that he's sort of with the rest of his team, as as it looks like Fenzito has gone to the Reinhardt here, and they're going to be playing more of a Death Ball config here on the other side.
And I'm curious to see, Zoe, the Tracer's already taken out by Spark. What gratifying kill. A Tracer. And right now, Mr. Crit, the McCree for Top Ramen, is getting quite low, and it does seem that Naptime does have the advantage for this first team fight. Spark and Cat Chunks take out their respective Zenyatta and Divas. However, that Zenyatta kill is res by Burst Proceed. Mr. Crit takes out the opposite Genji, but right now, most of the fighting is taking far away from the point.
Yeah, and it looks like here they were sort of messed up there when Zoe went down initially on that Tracer. Zoe immediately then switched to the Hanzo, seeing what was going on, and now they're engaging here onto the point. But it looks like Fenzito gets taken out, but kill's still going the way of Top Ramen here. It's going to be a little bit of a matter of time before they sort of take this point if the kills keep going. McNaney, sir, actually gets the res off on Spark, so both supports now back up, but McNaney actually gets taken out here. Surfy trying to hold on as long as he can here, on point here, trying to slow off Zoe, and a great sort of transcendence comes out by Spark. This is it's sort of devolved into a brawl as now kills going now the way of Naptime. What are you starting to see here, Katrina?
I saw a Dragon Blade unfortunately being wasted during this fight, even though the Transcendence deep inside did try to use the Dragon Blade to take that point. While it did gain Naptime a few precious percent points, that was Top Ramen's to win. Now let's see how Naptime respond. I am curious as Brave Palm does have Rocket Barrage. However, the ultimate economy advantage is definitely in Top Ramen's favor.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch because they're going to be able to sort of defend this at least at least one fight, maybe two if those support ults can sort of rotate out.
Take a look at Brave Palm trying to flank behind. I sense a Rocket Barrage coming, and here it is! It picks up a kill on Zoe, and Surfy finishes off the opposite Reinhardt. The self-destruct comes in as a response. However, that self-destruct only demax Cash Chunks. Right now, it's a 1 versus 6 in favor of Naptime, and Naptime does take the point. Beautiful Rocket Barrage. You could see that flank coming. I was so excited.
Yeah, Brave PLM actually didn't care about any ult advantage that Top Ramen had. He saw an advantage and took it himself, and that was excellent usage of the ult there. The ult economy still in the favor of Naptime here at 3-1, but they've got to be careful because the percentage here is building up really fairly quickly here for Naptime, and they need to take this point back or it's just going to be out of the advantage, and losing Fenzito early is not a good start here for Naptime.
However, Brave Palm is taken out, and but Mr. Crit, the McCree for Top Ramen, is also taken out in return. Surfy, the main tank for Naptime, has been killed. However, there's so much damage being healed by that beautiful Transcendence from Spark. Right now, the control point is at 95%, 96, and Fenzito has an excellent Earth Shatter. I think that there might be a chance for Top Ramen to take this point. We will see what happens as Valkyrie is popped, as is a Transcendence. It is 3-on-1 in favor of Top Ramen. And it does look like Top Ramen will save their chances of sweeping Ilios.
Yeah, it looks like here what happened was his deep inside tried to save it there at the end, but he immediately sort of Dragon Bladed into another Transcendence. He's just been unlucky with that as Millsy's been really on the ball here for Top Ramen to make sure to save those Transcendences specifically for that Dragon Blade. So they lose that ult here on their next push. So Top Ramen will have a chance here to defend with the ult advantage here at 2-1. Watch for Mr. Crit to sort of start flanking around and try to pick some people out of the back and sort of stall this fight out. And as I say that, down goes Brave PLM to Mr. Crit.
And here comes the self-destruct. Oh my goodness, it's a triple kill! Killing Brave Palm, Surfy, Spark, and Brave Palm was just resurrected too. Mr. Crit just finishes off that one diva, and Cap takes out the Mercy. That is almost a team kill with deep inside just flanking around the point, just biding his time while he waits for his rest of the team to reset.
Oh, it looks like he got found out, though, because Zoe knew where he was. He's up on the point above, and Zoe's climbing up to go sort of duel him and try to get to him. He can't get to him, though, because now Deep Inside is now going to try to come to the point and start overtime. So immediately he comes inside, and then Surfy gets taken out, but 2 immediate kills here for Naptime, and it's not looking good at all for them. Mr. Crit gets Brave PLM, and now it's going to be a brawl to sort of save this point at 99-99.
However, Surfy was just resurrected. That is an extremely positive kill. Oh, but the Mercy, McNary, and Zoe takes out Surfy and Spark, the support and tank. Right now, wow, Top Ramen takes Ilios 2-0. Amazing kills at the end from Zoe. Very high value Dragon Strike.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic there by Top Ramen, looking like a brand new team here on Helios. They take the first map, and oh, what do we know about math and predictions? This is a great bomb here by Cap. Takes out Spark, PLM, and Surfy that just sort of ruined this push and sort of forced Naptime to go in a little bit uncoordinated there at the end, which didn't allow them to sort of cap the Lighthouse. So first blood goes to Top Ramen 2-0, and with the way that the map selections work, I'm thinking Top Ramen's got a pretty decent chance here of taking the next map, which is an escort map, which is something that Naptime has just been sort of terrible at. Unfortunately, their Junkertown record, not the greatest in the world at 0-4.
Oh no. I'm curious to see what compositions we'll see on Junkertown. Do you think that we might see that classic pirate ship coming up with the Bastion and Reinhardt, Orisa, maybe double sniper? There's so many different things you can do on this map.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you could sort of do, but the issue with it is that, pirate ship is a little sort of been there, done that. And a lot of
True.
teams are trying to sort of figure out new strategies. You see teams sort of going more into the dive or maybe trying something a little bit different here. So it looks like we will be going into Junkertown. There are going to be some substitutions coming in here. So we're going to take about a minute break. We'll be right back. And when we start back, it will be both teams in Junkertown. Right now, it is Top Ramen leading Naptime 1-0. So once we come back, it will be your escort map. We will join you here in just a sec.
The world could always use more heroes.
And we are back. Welcome back, and now we are in Junkertown. It is Top Ramen in red and Naptime in blue. And Katrina, this map has not been very friendly to Naptime at all. So I don't know how they're going to do, but I see pulled pork here on the horizon for Naptime.
And I bet they are hoping that they had help of a little hamster, maybe not a so little one, named Ramen, who spent most of his time on Earth living in Junkertown. I am so excited for the release of this new off-tank. What do you think it will do to change this meta?
Well, the thing about it is that you can tell, if you look at this map, you can tell that there are spots here that are almost made for Hammond. So you see all the bridge underpasses in the first part of the stage. It's almost saying to me that like Hammond was designed to play as a wrecking ball underneath these bridges to sort of knock people off. So, like, you know, there are like subtle hints, especially here in Junkertown, where it looks like he was meant to be played with all the corners and the way that the narrow passageways work. But he's going to change it up a little bit because that giant wrecking ball of his is going to sort of it's a way to sort of break death balls and just not allow people to sort of bunch up and sort of move the way they've been moving in this meta. So the stuns are going to be really big because Brigida's going to have a huge time trying to sort of stun him and prevent him from sort of getting away. So it'll be interesting when he does get finally incorporated into comp and into matches, but it'll be a while yet before that actually happens, I think.
And it looks like we might have a Bastion on attack right now with Mr. Crit going on the Bastion. Right now it looks like a pirate ship is coming to Junkertown once again. So the Rissa's shield for Top Ramen has already been broken, and the Bastion is down. Mr. Crit's Bastion was taken care of quite quickly, but is rezzed up immediately. Oh, huge kill from Zoe. The Mercy on Naptime is down, and once again, Bastion is down without a res to bring them back. Why do you think that they are having such trouble of keeping this Bastion alive?
It's the pulled pork combo for front that's coming out from Surfy and Catch Chunks. They're focusing and using that hook to get that Bastion sort of down and out. But the problem is that they're expending too many resources to try to get the Bastion down while they're letting everybody else sort of do their thing. So nobody is on Zoe right now, and just sort of he's being allowed to just basically shoot freely into this configuration. So you notice now, like, that they're starting to, they've almost gotten to the point here. They've gotten about 3/4 of the way through, and now they're just pretty much at a standstill here. They need to get a pick, but what they really need to do is sort of push on Zoe, make sure that they get him into the back as deep inside sort of gets around, and Brave PLM takes out 3 with the Dragon. Huge kill.
And there was the help from the bongo from Surfy. I was just thinking, how can Top Ramen be stopped? They were taking the payload so far without almost even stopping. And then that wombo combo was beautiful. I was very impressed with that coordination. Great communication on the side of Naptime.
Yeah,
and we see right now that Mr. Crit has switched to his signature hit scan. And in the battle of Zen v Zen, Naptime wins. However, Millsy is resurrected by Vesper C.
Yeah, you get Zoe here trying to sort of flank around with the Widow. He did take out Brave PLM, so that is a big kill, but PLM gets rezzed immediately because they need his DPS here. As they're sort of trying to engage and come back around, Zoe now gets the 7th sense, and that is a big kill because they lose supports here along with the Tracer, so nobody's going to be on Zoe. It'll be a matter of time here. Top Ramen just need to be aggressive and push on this configuration, and they should be able to get point A, assuming they don't lose anybody too big.
And I would not spend any ultimates if I was Naptime. Right now they do send in, and oh, Catch Chunks does go down with Whole Hog, so there will be a huge stagger for both Surfy and Catch Chunks.
Yeah, and it looks let's see.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, yeah, it's all right. So it looks like Venzito here positioning himself right by the takeaway location in the middle of Junkertown because he's trying to make some space here for the rest of his team. They end up getting the bad spawn, and you're right, Catch Chunks' kill is going to be really big because he had to sort of spawn all the way back And now they're finally getting back and starting a set, and Zoe gets picked off right away by Deep Inside, so that is a big, big kill.
And Penzito's shield is so low, Pandu must be getting extremely high charge. One of my favorite things as a Zarya is to bubble. Oh, here comes the hammer down, but it is mostly blocked. Pandu still takes out Brave PLM, and Surfy is trying to get Penzito from behind, does take them out. Catchunks following up with Whole Hog takes out Mr. Crit. It looks as though, even though there are many kills coming from both sides, it does look like Naptime will be able to hold with just a few stragglers on top Ramen.
Yeah, what happened there was Top Ramen was just unable to sort of use the advantage that they had, and they started off really badly too, with them losing Zoe early on in the fight. It started off as a 5v6, but they had that sort of space advantage, but they just didn't really use it well enough, and it allowed Naptime to sort of capitalize. Big plays there by Catchunks, making sure that he was able
Here
to
comes
sort
the
of take out
Dragon
his player.
Strike, and right around it with Orisa's Halt ability. However, there was no kills until Penzito is out, and McNaney Sir is 1% is at his Valkyrie. I wonder if he will use that right now or just wait and let this fight die down. And Surfy, it looks like this fight will be continuing from Total Ramen as the Bongo is put down. However, McNaney Sir gets the kill as Mercy onto Millsy. That must not feel good for Millsy.
No, not at all. So it looks like here the advantage here is strictly here with Naptime. They're having a pretty decent stranglehold here on this point, but like Top Ramen still have a chance here to make sure that they can still cap this point. They just need to make sure that they can get a big kill here. Surfy's been alive and well for most of this push. They've had their success here if they're able to sort of take him down, but the Orisa play here by Surfy has done really, really well. So now they're actually going to be approaching the point, and now... Ooh,
and here comes the Graviton. The shield is broken, but redone. Seventh Sensi comes in with a great Transcendence. Oh, a beautiful hammer down from Penzito. This Earth Shatter is very effective as it takes out the opposite Mercy. However, Penzito is also killed by the Seventh Sense, and the payload is continuing to move forward with Zoe switching to the Brigitte. Surfy is shooting from behind, but that is not pressuring the payload. Right now, Zarya is gaining huge amounts of charge as Pandu is almost fully healed. However, this defense is holding very well. And right now, Naptime once again holds on Junkertown. So far, there's only a minute left.
Yeah, Deep Inside has just been doing work here on this Tracer. Like, he has made sure that, like, Top Ramen just are unable to sort of engage very, very cleanly. So you'll see Penzito here start to engage, and then by that time, Deep Inside has already got an idea of who he wants to attack, because he'll be coming around the back here looking for the stragglers while Top Ramen are engaged right now. So,
interesting strategy from Top Ramen as Penzito went to the point alone, completely away from his entire team, but right now it does seem to be working as Top Ramen is backing them up. Both Transcendences are out. Surfy is providing huge amounts of damage with the Bongo coming soon. But right now, I think Top Ramen's going to take this fight.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes. And it looks like the fight is going to happen, and you're absolutely right. I think Top Ramen has got this. They just need to clear Deep Inside here off the point, but he drops a Pulse Bomb. Oh, what a huge drop! But I don't think it's going to stop the push, though, as they sort of keep going. They're going to have to sort of make sure they finish Surfy out as overtime starts here, but they finally get it there at the end.
And even though Naptime did lose that fight, they must be extremely happy with that hold, as there's only a minute and 20 seconds left. And there's so many different ways you can flank with that Tracer on this last part of Junkertown. I'm excited to see what Deep Inside will do with this scenario.
Yeah, so what Top Ramen needs to do here is they want to time this sort of fight out. They can use overtime to their advantage and extend the spawns out. They want to get as much push as they can, and then it's a bit of a gamble here, but they can sort of use overtime to sort of push through and give themselves an advantage here at the end. But they need to win this fight, and that starts off with a great Earth Shatter.
And right now there is a Riptire trying to combat that. Oh, that's coming from Top Ramen. Right now that's just cleaning up Naptime. And great coordination from Naptime. Pandu is at such high charge. McNaney Sir does res the Hanzo Brave Palm. There's only a few meters left. There's so little space left for Naptime to respond. However, they counter this with, oh, a great Graviton Surge coming from Top Ramen, from Pandu. That's about it, unless... No, that is it. Unless Deep Inside can touch the point. Round 1 is complete with a full completion of Junkertown from Top Ramen.
Yeah, they've been doing great. That was an excellent back-end push there by Top Ramen. With only about a minute 29, they were able to sort of leave everything on the table there, and they just played a really nice tight death ball, letting Fenzito sort of go out there and sort of charge and pick out targets, opening up with a great Earth Shatter, and they just sort of snowballed from there. Naptime just wasn't able to establish a defense again. They're on point C, and that just allowed Top Ramen to roll. It gave them 15 seconds here, and that could be big because if this goes into Time Bank, they'll have that little slight advantage over Naptime, and that could mean the difference between a win and a loss here.
And definitely that rally coming in from Brigitte helps out with that last push. Brigitte is such an influential support right now. I wonder if she will get nerfed again. Do you think so?
Possibly. I think people just not used to playing with stuns in this game. And I think a lot of the complaints that come out of it is the fact that really the only stun in this game was McCree's flashbang. So, and McCree was sort of out of favor for a while. So, like, you know, people have to sort of get used to a different playstyle again, and people have to sort of worry. But Brigitte's stuns, honestly, were a little too fast. So, like, she could charge those stuns up really easily, and it just was not really fun to play into. Nerfing her was probably a good move by Blizzard. Will they nerf her again? I don't know, honestly. But it just really depends on what the community reaction and how the overall play goes. And it looks like here they're trying to sort of figure out and steal Naptime's configuration. What are they going to be running here? And it looks like Brief PLM is looking like they're going to go Bastion, but they're going to go Bastion to Bastion here with Mr. Crit and the pulled pork here, getting ready for whatever's going to come out from Naptime.
I am definitely excited to see how this defensive Bastion will work out on Junkertown. I have too often, but there is that Mei from deep inside. They were probably anticipating that defensive Bastion, and right now their presence on the payload is strong, and the payload continues to move, with Pandu pressuring up top and Fenzito on the Roadhog, trying to take out that Mei, trying to hook her. However, the payload keeps moving with Fenzito challenging it. Surfy is discorded, but takes out Fenzito. Mr. Crit is pressuring that payload so much, shredding the shields completely, and does not take out, but D-Max catch chunks. McNamee Surf resurrects this offensive Bastion, and Fenzito is able to take out the support of Zenyatta. The support Vesper C for Top Ramen, though, is taken out by the Bastion. Do you think that this Mercy kill will be the end of this main fight?
Yeah, it's absolutely over now, because they were using the Mei wall by basically all they were trying to do was incrementally gain space. So Deep Inside was putting up that Mei wall in just sort of small increments to see how much space that they could gain and slowly start moving and force Mr. Crit out of position. So there was just nothing that they could do defensively with the Bastion to sort of stop what was coming down. Looks like a defensive Hanzo ult here, just trying to sort of get them off the point, but it's too late as Naptime already captured point A. And Brave PLM here already using his ult on the Bastion here, trying to get some stagger kills, and he absolutely gets Pandu here. So good stuff here by Naptime.
Interesting ultimate usage from Total Ramen, as both Transcendence and Dragon Strike were used to try to hold that last point, where I believe that it probably would have been better to hold them at this one choke point, as Naptime did to them last round.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And Fenzito here going on the flank and catches D-Mech cash chunks, but immediately will get rezzed here. But as PLM here is not going to be moved off this payload, he's still on that Bastion and still sort of doing some damage here. They need to make sure that they deal with him properly, or they're going to capture point B fairly quickly.
I think a Riptire might deal with him pretty well, and let's see if it gets the kill. No, Palm does take out that Riptire, but Pandu does. Both superchargers are out, with the Transcendence coming in from Naptime's Zenyatta, and the payload is keeping on moving forward. There's no pressure. Fenzito comes in. He is frozen. Milzy is frozen. The payload will move extremely quickly to the second point in Junkertown. This is a walkthrough for Naptime right now.
Yeah, they're having a great time here, and Deep Inside here on that Mei is causing fits for Naptime. He's sort of freezing them up and using himself as almost like a third DPS tank. As he sort of moved himself into position, they're going to allow themselves a lot of control of where they're going to be coming from. So like he's now positioned himself up top and can probably position walls where he needs to, and he's such great protection.
And he has a Blizzard coming up as well, and you know what, when Mei has such a great view of the battle that that Blizzard is going to get great value. What other ultimates are really attracting your eye as this last fight will soon start?
Well, you've got the zoning out coming out from Catch Chunks. That's going to be big, but Millsy's Transcendence has to be timed right. So when that Blizzard comes out is when that Transcendence needs to come out to save her team. Because if that doesn't happen, then you can say this is going to be a tight walk, pretty easy walk here for Naptime as they start their engage on point C.
And that was just a little bit painful to watch as Fenzito was walled off and then mowed down by the Bastion. There's only a couple of meters left, and there's 4 minutes for Naptime to take this last point. The Blizzard does come out. Millsy does use the Transcendence like you predicted. Brave Palm is finally taken off of the payload, and I'm not sure where this fight will end up. Deep Inside seems to be doing great work, freezing most enemies, but I'm guessing right now that Top Ramen will be able to hold with just under 4 minutes left.
Yeah, they have their spawn advantage is basically going to win them this fight. They can't get rid of Cash Chunks and what is it? Deep Inside. Deep Inside is just really just messing with them. He refuses to die. Finally, he goes down to Pandu, but he was basically camped out on that point, just not allowing them to sort of finish and win that fight. But now they're trying to make some space for themselves as Fenzito sort of goes out, but that payload is almost there. You can see the box there to just sort of finish off point C. They've got to be able to do something and kill more clock, or this is going to be very problematic for Top Ramen.
And Surfy just has the supercharger. Deep Inside is so close to another Blizzard at 77%. Oh, but Zoe takes out the supercharger and Surfy with a beautifully placed pulse bomb. And right now it looks like Deep Inside is being a pain, however is taken out by Mr. Crit. This fight is going great for Top Ramen, and Fenzito is leading the way with excellently placed fire strikes. Vesper C is just healing up her Tracer, trying to make sure that they're able to maybe get some last picks, maybe stagger Naptime, but it looks like this fight is pretty much done.
Yeah, so right now here, Naptime is in a precarious spot. So do they want to keep going with Deep Inside on that Mei, or want to maybe bring up a little bit more DPS to sort of finish off the point? Brave PLM switches to a Reaper here, so they're trying to say maybe they can compensate by switching to a Reaper, but Deep Inside's ult is almost up, and you got to watch out for this Blizzard, because this Blizzard will give them the victory if timed correctly. With 2 minutes here left on the clock, but because of the way that the payloads move, there could be Top Ramen could have earned themselves another fight here. So if this Blizzard is sort of wasted on an early catch and they don't get to use it here on the final sort of section, the Top Ramen will have a chance to sort of defend properly as they start the engage.
And Top Ramen does start extremely strong with Mr. Crit taking out the Mercy. There is 4 deaths right now, and it's a 6v2 right now in favor of Top Ramen. Unless Deep Inside can get deep inside the minds of Top Ramen, which unfortunately he does not as he is taken out, this push is complete.
Yeah, Fenzito there with a great Earth Shatter into the back line. There was the Reaper. PLM was trying to get into the back and sort of catch some supports, trying to sort of wrap around. He didn't do it now. We're down to a minute 30. So now we're going to start seeing some ults come out from both teams. Mr. Crit there has his Deadeye, so he's going to try to look for a good angle here, but as well as 7 Cents and Catch Chunks here, that support ult is going to be big. That Zenyatta ult from both Millsy and 7 Cents is going to determine who wins this fight in the end as we get down to about minute 10 left.
And McNaney does use the Valkyrie. Surfy is taken out as the Winston, and Catch Chunks is DMAC. Both tanks are now rendered ineffective. However, this Reaper by Brave PLM does take out Fenzito. There are no tanks on either side as Pandu is DMAC'd. Here comes that Blizzard with a corresponding Transcendence from Top Ramen. And I'm not sure where this fight is going to go. Catch Chunks is... Here comes the Death Blossom that takes out Mr. Crit. However, Brave Palm is punished for his aggression by Zoe. I think that right now, with Catch Chunks' zoning ultimate of the self-destruct and those beautiful freezes by Deep Inside, do you see these? Yeah. I think right now they might have the edge.
Yeah, they absolutely do, but it looks like here Millsy gets res right back, and Mr. Crit takes out McNaney, sir. That is a huge kill, but Catch Chunks tries to use the zoning ult here. He's going to try to catch anybody he can, doesn't get anyone. It's going to be up to Deep Inside and PLM here to do some work because all the ults are gone, and it looks like Catch Chunks gets DMAC'd. Are they going to be able to finish? No! It looks like we're down to a second left. There's nobody left on the point, and Naptime with They had
Oh,
about 4 minutes there at the end. Top Ramen with an epic hold there at the end of Junkertown to win it and give themselves a 2-0 advantage.
I was so excited with those 4 minutes left. I thought we were going to see maybe so many different rounds, but unfortunately, that defense from Top Ramen was absolutely brilliant. It was fun to watch, I must say. But I was really excited to see Deep Inside's Mei. I think that having an aggressive Mei was something that I don't really see that often on Junkertown, and might be something that I want to see in future games or even try out myself.
Yeah, it was actually excellent to sort of watch. So I liked actually seeing where that was going, and it looked like Top Ramen was very confused, especially with the way that the Mei was running in the first parts of the map. But unfortunately for them, but unfortunately for Top Ramen, it looked like Top Ramen was able to sort of stabilize and understand how the Mei was going to be played, and sort of nullified what Deep Inside was doing there at the end. So it was actually a good start off play there from Naptime, but they just weren't able to finish, and very unfortunate there for Naptime. But the predictor was right here. Naptime goes now 0-5 on Junkertown. It is just
Oh.
not their map. So that is just not something that they can sort of do. But what it does here is now Top Ramen just really need one more win here on any of the last two maps to take the series. So Naptime here looking very difficult. So look, their job looking very difficult. They're going to have to reverse sweep. So it looks like we're going to be going into a little bit of a break here, and then we're going to go into Numbani. So once we come back, it will be Numbani with Top Ramen up 2-0 on nap time. So we will join you back in a minute.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
が敵を食らう
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
優が我が敵を食らう
Traveling to Numbani.
We are back, and folks, welcome to Numbani, another new map here in Stage 2 of OWLET. So this is a hybrid map with very interesting sort of corners to peek around. Katrina, it looks like here we're going to be going to a hybrid map for the first time in this this stage, in this series. And Naptime have really their backs against the wall here. They really need to pick this up.
Yes, Naptime need to win this map in order to even have a chance of winning this entire game. And for those listening, you have to listen to what Hodo says in between these maps. He's teaching me so much about the positioning of these players. Why do you think there's going to be more Winston potentially, as we see Surfy preparing to use on Numbani?
Yeah, it's because of the fact that, like, you notice the way that the positions of the ledges look over the point. High ground here is super important. And from what I've understood, is defending the high ground is where you sort of want to make sure you are. Because you can trap teams on the ground. Now, it looks like Fenzito here going with the Reinhardt instead of the Winston here to sort of defend on the far side over on the Chancellor Hotel. So what he's sort of expecting here is he's going to try to see if Naptime will sort of come through the doors and sort of engage from at the top. But he'll have to drop off, which will leave him a little bit exposed. He's going to try to depend more on Mr. Crit and Zoe here on the far back end to sort of keep their high ground positioning and make sure that Fenzito does not get sort of destroyed there at the bottom when he has to sort of fall down. But now the dive coming in from Naptime as they're going to engage here and try to sort of jump up and attack.
And there is already a kill from Brave Palm onto Zoe, and if I were Mr. Crit, I would be nervous on Afaro with a Widowmaker already getting that first kill of this match, which is rezzed immediately by Vestor C. And they are coming around the left of the point, directly. Oh, and it's already being ticked down, and Penzito drops down from up top. Like you said, that would probably lead to trouble. However, Millsy is taken out. Surfy is as well. Right now, though, it looks like Top Ramen is having the advantage, with Penzito coming in here with kills on the Mercy and on the Genji. Mr. Crit as well following up.
Yeah, so what ended up happening there is that you saw them immediately sort of dive for the high ground from the far side. Penzito was nullified because he was sort of on the top of the hotel, so there was nothing that he could do to sort of help the fight. But they were really good at de-meching Pandu before the Diva as they were diving in. Excuse me, Catch Chunks before Catch Chunk could even get to the far end. So there was just nothing they could do about it with a D-Mech Diva and a lone Winston. So that attack sort of fell apart, but they have to be super careful here because they're going to try this again. And if they get the right target this time, then Top Ramen is going to be crippled. So you have to be very careful.
But look at Brave Palm, who stayed alive throughout the entire fight. Right now is on an interesting viewpoint. And Penzito, the Reinhardt of the defense, has been taken out right now. Oh, unless this high news has been... Zoe gets deep inside, and Surfy with a high noon. That might have just saved the defense for Top Ramen.
Yeah, and they're picking them off relatively easily here, and it looks like they're just not able to sort of get to the high ground. Cash Chunk sort of has to just sort of bail on this. So the issue is here is Zoe and Mr. Crit still have real good control of the high ground. What's going on is Penzito here is basically bait for them to just sort of attack somebody that isn't one of the priority targets. So Penzito positioning himself again by the hotel. He's going to try to serve himself up, but they're just going to allow Zoe and Mr. Crit here to just sort of hang out in the tops and just sort of pick off Naptime from afar. And if Naptime doesn't do anything about the McCree on the far side or the Pharah in the air, that's going to be serious trouble here on Numbani, and it looks like Deep Inside was already taken out, and that's going to cripple their push here initially also.
And you see that both Mercies on both sides have Valkyries available, with Spark using the Transcendence preemptively, and Mr. Crit has that Rocket Barrage ready. I bet now is the time that he brings that out.
Yeah, and it looks like Penzito immediately sort of attacking here, but Surfy and Brave PLM get the kills that they need. So now it looks like here they finally have sort of gotten what they wanted. Mr. Crit goes down, and now it's going to be just a matter of time. Zoe here gets rezzed by Vesper Seed, but they lost who they needed on the top on the high ground, so there was nothing they can sort of do about it, and it is a quick, finally a take here for Naptime with 3 minutes and 13 seconds here on the clock.
And Deep Inside does have that Dragon Blade and is moving forward, maybe get a stagger. Penzito does have that Earth Shatter and Millsy Transcendence. So Deep Inside might use that Dragon Blade to bait out that Transcendence early.
Yeah, that's actually a good call here. So, like, you know, they want to make sure that that Transcendence doesn't sort of interfere with another sort of combo that they're doing. They might even sort of try to send Deep Inside, see if maybe he can get a kill before she can pop the Transcendence off. But now they're slowly moving here around the corner, so they're going to give up a little bit of space here just to sort of position them right by the truck. And it looks like they wrapped around instead, and Penzito went immediately for the back and starts to engage on the back, but no go there as Surfy takes him out.
Unfortunately for Penzito, that Earth Shatter only caught the Widowmaker and didn't even get the kill on her. So overall, the payload is still moving, even though that Reinhardt tried to do the flanking Earth Shatter. Catch Hunks and Deep Inside are pushing forward, preventing any more resistance from the defense.
Yeah, that defense really sort of fell apart there from Top Ramen. They really just basically gave up the second section there without really that much contest. With Penzito going for an all-in shatter there around in the back and only getting the Widow, there was just nothing that like Top Ramen could do as their front line was already done. And now they're moving into point C here, but Zoe gets an early kill on PLM, so therefore they're going to be able to sort of at least try to sort of hold them off as this grab comes in.
And here comes the Graviton Surge, which is responded with the Transcendence, and right now it looks as, oh, here comes that Dragon. And there are so many ults being spent on this single fight, but Deep Inside's Dragon Blade takes out both Penzito and the Mercy. Pandu is just down. There is no Mercy, no tanks for Top Ramen left. I believe that the rest of this fight will end very quickly unless there's a major change happening
Yeah, now
to Top Ramen's defense.
Yeah, there has to be, like, this is where Top Ramen sort of has to hold. They need to get an early kill here because they have huge spawn advantage. They need to turn this fight into their favor right away, and they do. Mr. Crit gets deep inside as they start this engage.
And there is Catchon's ultimate as a self-destruct to potentially zone out later, but they have 2 minutes left. However, on the last map of Junkertown, we had 4 minutes left in a similar situation. What do you think that Naptime need to do in order to take advantage of this time?
They need to take the fight into their advantage and then be aggressive. So what Naptime isn't doing is getting the first kill here when they're finishing off payloads. So the problem in Junkertown was the fact that they were just unable to sort of start off the fight to the advantage that they needed. And in that particular case, that's where Top Ramen had all of the cards, is the fact that they can use, if they can use a one kill and aggressiveness to sort of stop a push from Naptime coming through. The key here is for Naptime to get 1, if not 2 kills to start off the fight. And that's where they do. They actually get Zoe in an unresable position as they start this fight, but a great shatter there by Fenzito.
And that shatter is accompanied by Mr. Crit's Deadeye, which takes out Brave Palm, but is directly responded to deep inside. Oh, his Dragon Blade is countered directly by Fenzito, and it gets no worth. It looks as if Naptime does have to reset for this fight, and they do back off.
Yeah, they do
manage to get Zoe.
Yeah, they do get Zoe in the back, so they're going to try to push immediately right away and try to use the sort of the advantage here with Zoe being dead, but they have to sort of realize they're in the middle of no man's land, as that advantage is going to get spawned back almost right away. Mr. Crit takes out Brave PLM, and they lose their advantage almost immediately here as they try to sort of re-engage as the bongo goes down.
And Millsy still has Transcendence ready for Top Ramen, which is that? No, that is Spark using Transcendence so that they can keep pushing this payload forward. There comes the self-destruct that takes out Spark after that Transcendence. So they are missing a key healer, and thus McNaney Surf pops the Valkyrie.
Yeah, and Surfy like goes down there to Fenzito, and a big shatter there to just sort of catch Chunks before Catch Chunks could sort of run away. Mr. Crit gets final 2 kills here, and notice how far they are away from the payload. They're not going to be able to get
left.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get back. Oh yes, they can. Brave PLM like gets back to the payload as Spark took out Zoe here, who this is your final fight here. Surfy needs to get a kill, or at least Spark needs to get a kill to sort of get in their favor. The spawn advantage here completely with Top Ramen, but it looks like the kill's going with Top Ramen too, as they're trying to sort of do their best to sort of finish off this point.
Yes, the only Reinhardt I saw in that kill feed was Fenzito, who I believe had 4 kills in that single team fight, and Spark is using Transcendence just to keep the push alive. Oh, 3 people are caught by that Earth Shatter, and Catchunks that Earth Shatter keeps everyone away from the payload, and round 1 is complete.
Yeah, Fenzito, great timing on that shatter. Was able to sort of hit it right with no shield available. There was only a D.Va there left with two other players there from Naptime, and Naptime unable to complete Numbani after having about 3 minutes 20 seconds there at the end. So now Top Ramen have their target. The Golden Box of Victory stands right there at the second corner here as they approach the Heritage Museum of Numbani, and that's all they need to win this series. So what will be key here is if Naptime can sort of set up a defense that will prevent Top Ramen from engaging them onto the high ground. And you'll see immediately, you'll see Fenzito here going to the Winston. So he was going to defend on Reinhardt, but he will attack with the Winston and the dive here on Pandu. So they're going to try to pick a target on the high ground that they think is going to be a serious threat and sort of focus on them to get them out, combined with Mr. Crit here on the Pharah and Zoe here on the Widow. They're going to try to make sure that they can control this sort of high ground area before Naptime can sort of take him out, and that will be key here to taking point A of Numbani super quickly.
And also Zoe versus Brave Palm on the Widow v Widow battle. I think the first kill in that will really determine whether or not this defense holds immediately, as Brave Palm has been extremely effective on the Widowmaker, often being the last one to die in team fights, and has been extremely effective. So Zoe, I believe, is directly countering this great Widow play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the watch for Vespercy and McNaney, sir. So both of them will be boosting the Widows, but McNaney, sir, is going to make sure that if Brave PLM loses this duel to Zoe, that he immediately comes right back up, because they need to keep that Widow up to keep Mr. Crit at bay, or Mr. Crit's going to have a field day in the air, because there is really no other hit scan there to sort of top him down. Deep Inside can do his best on that Hanzo, but he'll be trying to try to take down tanks with the way that sort of Hanzo is sort of built right now.
And it seems like both teams are having a similar strategy by going the right of the point. Mr. Crit is starting. Oh, Brave Palm gets the first kill onto a Mercy Vespercy. Right now, that push needs to stop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Millsy D-Mex catch chunks, but that might end up helping them in the second part of this push if they're going to be a little bit patient here, as they're sort of stuck here in the middle of two mines, as both the D.Va here and the Pharah, Mr. Crit here, are stuck in the back, and they're unable to sort of come out, and they've now been picked out here by Naptime, so they're sort of split here. But hopefully they can use this to their advantage to maybe sort of keep the high ground here and displace Naptime and put him to the ground and maybe take the advantage here. But Penzito goes down.
Somehow they were able to stay alive for so long in that small area, and even though Penzito is down, Millsy and Mr. Crit do pick up important kills, with Mr. Crit also taking out the Mercy. There is a chance for Top Ramen to take this attack, but I don't think so anymore, as Surfy and Cat Chunks do stay strong.
Yeah, Zoe here is still alive and going to be trying to take off little bit of picks here. Benzito is coming back, and they're going to try to sort of stagger this push a little bit. The spawn advantage here is with the defense, so they have to be super careful. Zoe takes out Brave PLM, but they should probably just have reset to 6 and tried that again. Naptime looking okay here on this defense. They did look a little shaky here when Top Ramen took the high ground, but were able to sort of recover with that kill onto Vespercy. Vespercy trying for a really risky res here, and got picked off by the Widow, and that stopped the push for Naptime for Top Ramen dead. Now they have about 2 minutes to go, and the positioning here is reset here for Naptime, so they're going to need to make sure that they dive on the right target here and catch somebody who's by themselves.
And Naptime still has infrared sight due to Zoe's ultimate, and that Dragon Strike does not pick up any kills. They are going back into that that they were caught in, and Millsy is taken out by Breakpoint. Here comes the self-destruct that gets revenge on that Widowmaker. Vespercy resurrects her fellow healer, and right now, unless that supercharger is able to be taken out, I still believe that Naptime have the edge in this fight. Just when I think the Top Ramen are able to take this point, the two tanks of Naptime have really been stepping up.
Yeah, they absolutely have. So, like, Catch Chunks there, catching a couple of players with the bomb, really, really well placed right there to sort of make sure that there was nowhere that Mr. Crit could go. With 60 seconds here left on the clock, they have to get this point. They have to get this point on this engage, or it's going to be problematic here. Mr. Crit gets taken down right away. Not being careful with the positioning, they have to burn the res to get him up, but Vespercy almost going down there too. This is last chance saloon here for Top Ramen, or Naptime are going to have a full hold here on Numbani. So they're going with the Reinhardt here, so they're going to try to avoid diving and try to see if they can catch Chunks and Deep Inside right away here at the very top.
Yes, both tanks completely switched from D.Va Winston to Reinhardt Zarya, and due to Millsy's early death, Transcendence is not on the table. Ramen. Vespercy is still alive and did use Valkyrie. However, Penzito and Mr. Crit are both down. With Penzito being resurrected, the Mercy is down. I'm not sure if Top Ramen will be able to take this first point. I'm curious as to when Surfy will drop down to contest, or whether or not they will. There's almost 2 ticks on this point, with Deep Inside now contesting with Storm Arrow. There are 2 tanks alive for Top Ramen, and wow, against all odds, Top Ramen takes the first point.
So,
how did that happen?
So the reason that happened is because Naptime was reduced to the fact that they were left with 2 basically players that were just going to not be able to contest very well at all. That Orisa positioning wise needed support. There needed to be a DPS with the Orisa for the Orisa to be effective up there at the top. When the DPS was already taken out, all the Orisa could really do was just sort of stare at the point and not really do anything, knowing that if the Orisa was going to drop down, she would be killed immediately. So it was sort of like so what you could have done is you could have sort of dropped down, taken a little bit of a stall, but taken the death almost instantaneously to sort of delay it a little bit, but it would have eventually ended up going to top Ramen anyway, just based on the way that the configuration worked. And now it looks like, though, Naptime has reset and are able to sort of take a little mini advantage here on this sort of point B push.
And although Serpy was taken out by that Dragon Strike, the Supercharger used before was able to get extremely positive kills for Naptime against both tanks of top Ramen. And now there's just cleanup on the point with Millsy being the last to go. Oh, but Zoe is able to take out Brave PLM and the Mercy, McNaney, sir. Excellent sniping from Zoe.
Yeah, and it looks like here top Ramen are going to come back with 6, and Naptime knows that they should probably just allow themselves to sort of defend on point B, but it looks like Deeps Inside is going to come in here with the Dragon, and a great Transcendence to come out there to save his team. But now the fight here will be at the end of point B, and a great Earth Shatter there by Fenzito, who gets Deep Inside.
And right now there is a High Noon that does not get any follow, taking out Surfy, and Millsy wins the Zen v Zen battle. There is 2 minutes left. And even though top Ramen does have less time than Naptime did, they have been able to finish these last points extremely quickly, as we saw in Junkertown.
Yeah, they're winning the fights they need to win, which is very, 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 very good for them. And they're basically pushing Naptime into positions where they're sort of disadvantageous in defending. So like defending here at the end of point B when you're down is not good. As they start the engage right now, they know they can win this fight, they win the game. So Fenzito's sort of running to make sure that he doesn't sort of die, and you see the tank sort of hiding here. So they want to make sure that nobody gets picked off, but they lose Vespercy and they trade for Brave PLM. That's a great trade here because PLM's going to get rezzed right away, and they have the spawn advantage. So you're looking at a team that's sort of hiding and waiting for their Mercy to come back, but they lose Mr. Crit there. So this is going to be really, really tough here. They're sort of burning way too much time, and they just need to reset completely.
And a lot of that time was burned because Brave PLM did have that infrared sight, and I was very interested to see whether or not that player would get some kills, as you saw them flanking almost behind top Ramen. But right now everyone is in view as top Ramen begin to set up their next attack from above.
Yeah, watch the grab dragon here. That's going to win it for top Ramen if they can get it. But it looks like a grab comes out specifically for Naptime first. But watch Pandu. That Graviton is going to be big if he doesn't get taken out.
But Fenzito and Pandu are both down. Both are out for top Ramen, and here comes the cleanup truck that takes Mr. Crit. There's only about 1 push left for top Ramen. But with the Graviton and the Dragon Strike available, that could be the one combination they need to win any team fight.
Yeah, this is it. So like if they can get this off, they will win the series and win the game. If they don't, then I say this is going to go to top Ramen, and they're not going to be able to sort of finish them off here. So 15 seconds here left on the clock. Let's see how they get it done.
Here comes and right now there's a Transcendence. Maybe they will wait for that to carry off before going into the Dragon. There are no kills coming out from that, and Orisa's Supercharger from Surfy is coming out, but the payload is still moving very close. It's only a couple of meters to go. Here comes the Earth Shatter. That should keep the defense off of their backs. However, they are in overtime. Any mistake that top Ramen makes will be punished extremely highly. Let's see what happens next. Pandu is at such a high charge. Mr. Crit takes out good chunks. Millsy takes out the Mercy, and that is it. Top Ramen wins in overtime.
Oh my god. So the inherent mistake that Naptime had there, they actually got top Ramen to use the Grav Dragon to no avail, and they should have won that fight right there. But what ended up happening was Naptime reset way too far back and allowed top Ramen too much space. by allowing Top Ramen that much space, Fenzito was able to sort of go in there and earth shatter them into the ground, into the back there. He sacrificed himself, but not before taking out 2 players. And by doing so, it gave Top Ramen the advantage, and they just needed to stay aggressive and sort of push on through. And they finally end up getting that fight with a very highly charged Pandu there on the Zarya, just sort of finishing everybody off, because by that point, Fenzito was already gone. He had done what he needed to do, made a space for his team, and Top Ramen win that map eventually. So now they end up winning the series as they get the 3-0 right now. So now we're going to our last map, which will be, I think it's the 2CP. It will be Temple of Anubis here, but and going into it, Top Ramen already up 3-0. They're going to win this series right now. Naptime are going to have to fight for map score, so they're going to want to win Temple of Anubis going in. And this is a new map here for OWLET, but this is what we're going to end on tonight. We'll be right back here with Top Ramen up 3-0 here on Naptime. We're going to go to Temple of Anubis here to see whether or not Naptime can pull a map back and not allow Top Ramen to have the 4-0. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 1 minute.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
So we are back here, and it looks like, there we go. Got the overlays done, and we are back, and Temple of Anubis is the map. Yes, Anubis, so the land of stalls, as I call them. So we're going to be seeing Anubis here for the first time in OWLET, at least for the first time for me. I did not cast on Sunday, so I don't know if anybody had any of the new maps here as we were starting. So, Katrina, tell me about Temple Anubis and tell me why you hate it.
I mean, I was about to say it's everyone's favorite, but I think I once spent an hour in comp on Temple of Anubis, and it was just so excruciating. It went on forever, and as a tank main, sometimes it can just be so stressful approaching the second CP, as especially as a main tank. When do I initiate? Do I go through the middle? Do I decide? I feel like the defense has such an advantage for the last through that last control point. Yes, they do have the advantage for every single assault map, but especially Anubis can be particularly painful.
Yeah, and looks like, and it's one of those things in which it's like there are also predictable rounds of attack. It looks like Pandu here has left the game and disconnected, so I think
Oh,
we're gonna be in for a pause here.
okay.
So actually,
3,
pause, pause.
Oh, please pause.
defend
uh,
objective A.
looks like where did there we
There
go.
we go.
I'm going to uh,
Whew.
I'm going to mute that a little bit because the sound has Orisa shooting, and I don't think anybody on the nobody wants to listen to that. So okay,
No.
so we are paused, and I'm going to go to our transition image here as we sort of talk about Temple of Anubis. But in the meantime, when it comes to Temple of Anubis, this is just one of those maps that, unfortunately, either can take a long time or can take a long time because a lot of the times point A is pretty standard for most teams. Most
Yeah.
teams don't have any issues with point A. It's the predictable attack nature of point B that makes it a problem because if you're on a Winston, most of the time people know you're going to be coming from the right. So
Right.
like because that's the way you go. If you're on a Reinhardt, most of the time you're going to be coming in through the center, or an Orisa will be coming through the center. Oh, it looks like we're going to be back here, so I need to turn my sound back on. Just so that people can actually see what and listen to see what is going on. So please don't mind the sounds here. So, but as they start their attack here, and I think I've got my overlays backwards, as I do. Yes, there we go. The engage starts, and they start with the Orisa here on the high ground with the Mei boost. So interesting here that they've gone for the really high ground attack, whereas Top Ramen here is going from the right and trying to sort of counter him with Zoe actually getting the first kill.
And Break PLM was anticipating, Naptime coming up top as he set up a trap and a concussion mine ready. However, that was in vain. Let's see if Surfy drops down to combat Penzito and Pandu, and Kachunks does that, but with Pandu having such high charge, that diva is just going to be shredded so quickly. McManusor resurrects the 7 cent C as Zenyatta, who takes out Zoe, as Zenyatta taking out a Widowmaker. And right now the fight is still going strong, with Deep Inside still being an annoyance on that Mei for Top Ramen. And here comes, Surfy goes down, but alongside
Objective lost.
the supercharger, and that was a very quick point A. What happened there?
Yeah, well, what ended up happening was the delay on the drop really sort of screwed Naptime. Like when the diva dropped for Naptime, Surfy needed to come down with Kachunks because the diva was never going to be able to sort of survive that by herself. So like I think there's just a little bit of coordination issues with Naptime now as they're just sort of starting off this new roster. We completely sort of understand what's going on here. So there's going to be some like sort of some issues here with teamwork as they're sort of trying to get this right. But now they should have the advantage here unless Penzito can hit a very big sort of ult here as he's sort of approaching, but he's going to get split off here. This is where the Mei comes in super handy. Penzito gets killed, and this push is pretty much done. You really do need to wipe out a team very quickly here in order for you to have the advantage, or it's going to be sort of a bit of a long slog, and the cap goes down, and that's going to be it.
And unfortunately for Penzito, he did use hammer his right when he died, so there is no more Reinhardt ultimate. Right now, the only thing that Top Ramen has to work with is the Dragon Blade and the Transcendence. Two things that are not to be scoffed at, but the Earth Shatter would have come in great handy.
Yeah, but you see that ult there by Deep Inside. That freeze there is so huge. The Mei already ulted up here on point B is just going to be one of the more annoying things for you to get rid of. And it's not even in a stall situation. That Mei is here during a 6v6. So like it ends up becoming like one of the priority targets you want to take down, because if you don't, they're going to be able to just sort of stall this forever and just give tons of trouble here to Top Ramen as they engage here through the center.
And Pandu is at 92% to Graviton Surge. And although that the Zenyatta of Naptime does have Transcendence, it might have to be used for this Blizzard. Let's see what happens next. No, that Blizzard barely caught anyone, with Penzito and Pandu backing up to the left. Deep Inside manages to get out Milzy and the Zenyatta for Top Ramen has been killed. Will there be a resurrection? We will see. Right now, it does not look very safe for Vesper C. But they are guarding that area where Milsey was killed, however. Milsey is back in the game without a resurrection.
Yeah,
There are...
It looks
Go
like
ahead.
here. Yeah, it looks like here that the that I thought that maybe Deep Inside preemptively used that freeze a little too early, based on the situation. They weren't really going anywhere. So like maybe he was just sort of trying to wipe them out. But it looks like here on the engage, they're starting to move from the left here, and they're using this wall really well.
And the Dragon Blade is taken out. Both Transcendents are taken out, as well as the Supercharger. Pandu uses the Graviton Surge, but right now the kill feed is all in blue. Pandu, Vesper C, Cap, all of the above have been taken out, and that is largely because of the extra damage of that Supercharger. What an effective defense from Naptime, and that was there were so many ultimates committed for Top Ramen. It hurts to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is really bad for Top Ramen here. They're gonna have to build up their ult economy here to even have a shot. Because you see Naptime here with the advantage. PLM with that tire, it can win fights by himself. And with Cash Chunk and McNaney with the ults there too, a support Mercy ult there is going to be huge to defend here. So they're gonna have to be super careful, as they're looking like they're gonna be trying to come from the right again. As Surfy is sort of just playing sort of defense here in the middle, not allowing anybody to sort of sneak around. And Top Ramen, I don't know. I mean, they're going to be trying to see whether or not they can sort of catch anybody. A couple of dry pushes here to sort of just sacrifice themselves and build their ults, but that's as much as I see them sort of doing here on this push.
And that's what's so difficult about Temple of Anubis, that such a convincing, almost a team kill to get this second point due to the spawn advantage of the defense. And the Valkyrie for Naptime is taken down. Oh, there is an Earth Shatter that has Brave PLM in it. Benzito is bubbled, but oh no, Surfy takes out Benzito, and Kachunks accompanies that with the whole hog, taking out the Mercy for Top Ramen. And just to cap things off, Surfy is resurrected. Pandu is the only one left on point, but Brave PLM uses that concussion mine extremely effectively.
Yeah, and they keep their ult advantage too, with now Deep Inside going back up in 7th Sense, essentially going to get that Zenyatta ult here to come up. So Cap's got to be careful here. They need to draw out the Zen ult here before he can use the Dragon Blade, or that Dragon Blade is going to immediately be nullified. So he's got to be super careful on the next engage here once he comes in, because he's going to want to use it. So watch for the Dragon Blade here, and hopefully Zoe can get a quick Pulse Bomb and maybe use that Pulse Bomb to get 7th Sense to sort of use that ult a little early. But Zoe here getting trapped here into the corner and gets taken out, and that's not going to be in the cards.
It's the worst feeling when you are frozen by a Mei, and then you see her smile when she takes that ice head. Very sad ending for Zoe. However, as a Tracer, she will be able to join the team as soon as possible. Right now, they're just building up ultimates, playing a bit of cat and mouse. Pandu's ultimate is at 90% for Graviton, and is building up quite a bit of charge on that Zarya. Zoe and Cap both have their Dragon Strikes as well. And once again, Transcendence is up. I feel like Naptime always has at least one support ultimate. They've been managing them very well this game.
Yeah, and Zoe goes down again. That is not good. They have about 50 seconds left here, so I think they were waiting for Pandu's Graviton to come back up, and Milsey's going to get Transcendence up here, so it's going to be a little bit of an ult fiesta at the end here on this engage. That you can tell that they've just sort of been waiting for them to sort of come out and just sort of biding their time. They open up with the Graviton. Oh, and impatience there by Cap. He popped the Dragon Blade right away, not knowing that the Transcendence was going to be sort of used right into the Graviton. If he would have waited there, they would have probably had the advantage, but it looks like all the kills are going the way of Naptime.
And probably the most effective ultimate used out of all of them was Deep Inside Censored. Just having everyone on Top Ramen being caught in their tracks allow not only the Transcendence to be used effectively without any more additional damage, but has built up McNaney's... Oh, they weren't able to even touch the point.
No.
McNaney did have the Valkyrie ready just in case, but that Blizzard, I think, ended that map for Top Ramen.
Yeah, and the thing about it is there, when they look at this VOD review and they go into that end fight, what Cap needs to sort of watch out for is on last engages like that, the Graviton yeah, you may want to try to catch the team, but when you have the Dragon Blade and you know that they've been saving ults on the other side, you want to sort of wait just a second to see what comes out on the other side before you pop your own ult and engage with your own ult, because as you saw there, immediately when the Graviton came down, the Transcendence was popped right away, and the Mei ult was popped. So Cap could have sort of stayed on the periphery of the fight, waited for his Dragon Blade, waited for both of those ults to come to be done with, then pop the Dragon Blade, and then maybe gotten a little bit more effectiveness coming out of it. Yeah, half your team might have gone down, but you would have been in overtime, and you've been able to sort of fight off and give yourself a fighting chance, and maybe even up the fight a little bit, and give yourself a chance at the end there for maybe Zoe or somebody else to come back who was caught up in the freeze to sort of give yourself a fight there at the end. But instead, he sort of blew it right as soon as the Graviton popped down, and he was caught up. He was caught up with the rest of the freeze, and that was it for Top Ramen. So definitely, they're going to be watching that there at the end of the VOD there, because you're going to know it in some of the future matches for Top Ramen. In this particular one, they can afford to lose, but Temple of Anubis might decide whether or not you win a series or not, because you don't want to decide it in Rialto or a game 5 and just leave it up to chance and just not know exactly what's going to happen.
And every tick counts in Temple of Anubis. This can be such a frustrating map for any attack. So even though they were not able to take the second point, trying to get as many ticks possible can mean a victory in this map. So let's see how Naptime takes this point, with Brave PLM going immediately down. Zoe takes out deep inside as well on the Widowmaker. Beautiful play and aim by Zoe.
Yeah, so this is just going to delay Naptime here. Going to sort of take off about 20-25 seconds here just to make sure Zoe repositions himself here into the far back as they move to the right, knowing that it doesn't look like well, they have Cap here on the Junkrat, so this is exactly where you do not want to be. But with a Junkrat is in the right room while he's just sort of spamming grenades right into your team, and Naptimer just sort of walking into it as Fenzito takes down Surfy.
Yeah, Surfy was definitely going to go down to that chunk, but look at how much charge Catchlink has. The Mercy is down, which means that even though Catchunks does demech Pandu, which will have an impact on the next fight, he does go down to Cap soon after.
Yeah, and that was when you got sort of stuck there in that room with a sort of Junkrat staring you down. There was just no others. There was nothing else that was going to happen here. With 2:45 here left on the clock, PLM got caught out there at the very end, gets immediately rezzed, and now it looks like Deep Inside has gone to the Widow here, trying to sort of duel with Zoe, but Fenzito counters that right away, and Fenzito gets 2 kills. Good job by him.
Excellent, and because of that impact of that Junkrat in that small area, Cap already had his ultimate for this last fight, and has just been holding on to it. That will be a great ultimate, not only to stall, but to potentially even stop a whole team fight as they finish off both tanks for Naptime.
Yeah, Naptime having serious issues here on the engage, as they know exactly who to sort of pick, as Deep Inside going to that Widow is trying to sort of open up space here for Naptime and see if but he needs to win that duel against Zoe, and he needs to do it quickly before Fenzito jumps up there and sort of tries to take him out. So you'll see the positioning here by Fenzito as he's sort of diving in, giving his team the shield, but they're looking out to see where the Widow is going to be. Oh, but
and there is a Riptire that takes out both the Mercy and the Zarya. Deep Inside does get the kill onto Zoe, but Fenzito is chasing Deep Inside down on that Winston. Right now, Zoe is resurrected, and that is another fight done with Infrared Sight popped by Zoe. That will also stall a fight extremely long, for almost the duration of the entire Infrared Sight at times.
Yeah, like, good teams know not to sort of walk in on an Infra Sight right there. So Fenzito immediately, and it looks like Pandu now diving in onto Deep Inside, not allowing Deep Inside any space at all as Zoe gets taken out. So that was what they were looking for, but they've taken the fight to him right there at the gates. But no Widow here on the defensive side is the opening that Naptime were looking for.
And look at all that red in the kill feed. Right now, Cap got the immediate kill onto Mercy, the greatest signal at the end of its fight. And with that Primal Rage, there was so much distraction. Oh, do I see a Mercy in the kill feed? Vesper C is able to kill the opposing Widowmaker Deep Inside. And even though there is so much back and forth going on, the defense here is having a lot of control.
Yeah, but I think 7 cents there got picked off. That is not one they want. They want to get McNaney before he reses him, but McNaney got away with it. So I think the advantage here is going to be with Naptime here on the final point, as they're looking for at least a take here, so give themselves a chance at the win here on Anubis. 7 cents gets Millsy here in the back, and the advantage now really with Naptime is 7 cents again kills Caps, going off now transcending on the point.
And Kachunks just used the Graviton Surge. Was that by Pandu, I believe?
Yeah.
I did not see that effect.
Yeah. So it looks like Kachunks used the Graviton to catch the Mercy, to try to catch Vespercy. They've burned off all of their time, but they're going to cap this point. What ended up happening is that Top Ramen were already reduced to 5v6, and they could have been in serious trouble if they couldn't get 7 cents back up res. They were able to res 7 cents, and 7 cents turned around and killed 2 more of them, and basically won them that push before transcending and saving the rest of his team. So he was really the MVP there. Allowing McNaney to res him up as they were coming up the stairs there for that final push was a mistake. Top Ramen needed to sort of dive onto that Mercy and finish him off, and they would have probably full held them right there. But now they have 3 minutes 30 seconds here on the engage, and all they need is a tick. So Naptime here just looking for a tick here, and they will win Temple of Anubis.
And right now, they lost the opportunity to snowball, as Zoe did. The Mercy, and Pandu takes out both the Zarya, who is immediately resurrected, and Hanzo. Deep Inside is able to get the kill onto Zoe, and Penzito takes out the tank. Surfy, Vespercy resurrects Diva. So right now, both tanks are still alive for Top Ramen, and they have to. Naptime has to reset once more. There is less than 3 minutes left.
Yeah, so if I'm Naptime, I'm looking at the way the situation works. I need a tick. I would probably go dry here for once, try to build up my ults, but not use any of my own. So Surfy, Brave PLM, I would save them here, try to build up all 6 ults, and then just go for it then. And try to and just basically just build up as best as I can, but instead it looks like Brave PLM will send a dragon in to see if he can actually get anybody, but it looks like that's not going to work, as Deep Inside actually does take out the tire, but kills are going the way of Top Ramen.
And even though Cap, in a way, wasted that Rip Tire, the fact that Dragon Strike was used so early when Kachunks is trying to build up the Graviton Surge. Oh, I see. Brave PLM has switched from the Hanzo to the Junkrat, so he did want a character switch overall.
Oh, okay.
So that makes more sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And you see that now, so you see both supports here from Naptime building up what they can. PLM can actually get that ult really quickly. So going to the Junkrat here on offense, you can actually build that up really, really fast if you're stuck in a big sort of brawl here onto the point. And that's probably what he's going to be looking for with about 1 minute 30 here left. And there, Surfy still on the Winston, is predictably coming from the right. Now they engage, and he's going to pull his ult here and see if he can catch Penzito and try to get him out of position.
And right now, the only difference between these two combos is that Surfy is on the Reinhardt, and the Reinhardt effectively uses this Earth Shatter. I think right now, the Reinhardt is the better pick, although, yes, that Earth Shatter ultimate has so much great value, and although Primal Rage can stall, I think right now an Earth Shatter is what Naptime need, or at least an extremely effective ultimate like that, to finish this off.
Yeah, they need some sort of like Surfy's gone to the Reinhardt now with it, trying to sort of get it, but he's going to need to be able to sort of fight on the point and build it up really, really quickly here. Deep Inside has the eyes, but they're staying on the Widow here. I would have probably thought they might want to go to a Reaper to just sort of get on the point and brawl. That, I thought, might have been a better pick here for Naptime. Because of the way that the configurations is. But Zoe, doing work, takes out Deep Inside and is just going to stall this push from them. They're going to have to go in 5v6 unless Deep Inside can get back there in time. There's the res from McNaney, sir. So here they come. I think this is going to be it from Naptime. So once they start this engage, as Surfy comes down Main Street, this is going to be it. See if Naptime can get this final point.
And Cap comes in with the Rip Tire. Well, it takes... I'm not sure there's much left that Naptime can do. I think we will be going into overtime. I mean, extra rounds for Temple of Anubis. Even though the Valkyrie is popped out, McNaney is trapped by Cap, and Zenyatta is soon to follow. This overtime is starting to tick down, and that is it for this push of Temple of Anubis. Both teams are unsuccessful
Yeah,
in
it is.
taking the second point.
Yeah, there is no extra rounds because it is Anubis, so it does end in a draw.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Excuse
so
me.
it does end in a draw. So Naptime does not surrender the point. Top Ramen do not win a point here. And it is going to be a final score of 3-0 for Top Ramen as Draw Nubis has happened. And that is going to be interesting to see because it is a very, very hard point to cap. So teams that are going to be able to sort of cap point B of Anubis point B of Anubis are going to have serious advantages here with regards to winning sort of this final map in the way that the stage is going. So Naptime immediately out, and Top Ramen, the winners here. Final thoughts here, Katrina, on this map for a good win here by Top Ramen.
I think what really separated Top Ramen was excellent coordination of ultimates. They really seemed to be on top of target prioritization and even communicating ultimates, especially when communicating support ultimates. You always want to have at least one up. Most of the time, I felt like both support ultimates were up for every team fight. It seemed that way. So overall, great communication. I wish I could have heard it. And I think that's what won them the game ultimately.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Top Ramen, I think, were just basically not there yet on the teamwork side. You could see that there was just a couple of things that didn't sort of really work out for them the right way, and I think that might be the difference between them here and probably another map. I think I give them about another week or so to sort of right the ship a little bit, but I think they're going to be okay. But this was such a big win here for Top Ramen because as we look at the overall standings here, that win will propel Top Ramen up the overall standings chart and give them a shot here at the playoff cutoff line. So good stuff here by Top Ramen. Naptime here, going to have to go to the drawing board. They're going to start next week. Hopefully they just get a couple more scrims in with Brave PLM and Surfy. So they want to. It looks like they do have a lineup here that is going to challenge in OWLET. So it's going to be one of those things in which they're going to be able to do all right, I think. So Naptime just need to sort of fix a couple of things, and they should be good to go. So that is going to do it for us. Katrina, any shout-outs for anybody out there?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for watching, and a shout out for being a great time.
You cut out there for a second. Who was it that you wanted to shout out? It looks like you cut out.
It was to you.
Oh.
So thank you so much for casting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And thank you to how do you say his name? I swear to God, I couldn't pronounce PB.
Our ref.
Our ref PB4 you leave. Thank you for refing and hosting the channel. That's gonna do it for us today. It is a victory for Top Ramen 3-0 over Naptime. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be back on Sunday with more OWLET. This weekend, pay attention because the Overwatch League playoffs start tomorrow. So check your local listings on that, and if you're interested in watching myself, I will be simulcasting my cast with the Horizon League tomorrow night between 8 and 10 here on this channel, as I will be casting the Horizon Grandmaster scrims that will be going on for about 2 hours. So catch me then. For Katrina, for PB you leave, I am Hodohori. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next time.